I've been at the University of Edinburgh for 30 years now. I came up here as a senior lecturer in reproductive endocrinology, but my involvement at the University of Edinburgh really has been much more than that. At the same time, I was director of the fertility testing laboratories in the infirmary here, which provided hormone testing for the whole of this part of Scotland, actually. And the second really big effort was actually the research in reproductive endocrinology. There I had the fantastic opportunity and privilege really to work with some amazing people here at the University of Edinburgh in the whole reproductive biology scene and really make, I think, some fairly useful advances in that respect. But now I find myself in the third part of my career as the vice principal at one of the world's great universities, responsible for the whole international scene here, and I'm now facing retirement. My own research has been in the area of fertility regulation and the control of ovarian function, mainly around assisted reproduction. And a lot's changed since then. When we were doing IVF back in the early 1980s, the whole system of ovarian stimulation was much more of a shooting in the dark, so to speak. Then of course there were the fantastic advances made by Coutts and Fleming et al. With the introduction of the GnRH agonist protocols, which transformed the whole of the field. But always my mission has been to learn how better to manipulate the ovary with the drugs available, obviously FSH, LH, in order to achieve the maximum number of highest quality oocytes for treatment purposes. And that's still a challenge despite the improvements that have occurred. I would say in the future we'll be focusing much more on physiologically based gentle stimulation of the ovary rather than the current methods, which are much more blunderbuss in their approach. When I was appointed as the editor of Molecular Human Reproduction, my mission was very much to bring it back into the fold, to make it loved, but also to make it a very desirable and iconic aspect of the Society's activity. The first problem was the name. Molecular Human Reproduction was far too long and nobody wanted to say it. So one of the biggest missions was to work with Oxford to actually use MHR as the title, but also to add a strapline which stated the purpose of the journal, which was to provide the basic science for research in reproductive medicine. And to some extent, we were able to get to the point where actually the impact factor of MHR was almost the same as human reproduction. Honorary membership of ESHRE means a huge amount to me personally and professionally. My association with the Society has given me huge privileges as a speaker at meetings and more recently as an editor of one of its journals. So to be acknowledged by the Society through being made an honorary member is really a wonderful part of my journey of association with ESHRE.